2. Testing, testing.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. Amanda, I think we need it a little bit louder, if possible. And the lavaliers, the magical people who are in the back rooms. Sorry about that. There we go. Thank you, Amanda. Welcome. We wait a whole year for this service, and it's always so exciting to gather with family and friends to celebrate confirmation. It is an important milestone in our children's education. These are the children who have not stopped learning, who have continued to formally come to Hebrew school and to grow and develop themselves as Jews. And so it is a night worthy of a lot of celebration. And this class is a very, very special class, as you'll see. Tonight they're going to lead us in a Torah reading, in a reading of the book of Ruth. They're going to share words of teaching about Tikkun Olam with you, and they're going to lead us in a beautiful candlelit Havdalah service. And I know by the end of the night, you will be even more proud of them than I am. As our service begins, just a few reminders. Take a look around the room. There is an exit here, 2 exits in the sanctuary, 1 exit in the social hall, and exits all the way in the back. It is good practice wherever you go to make sure that you know where the exits are. We also invite you to take a moment to check your cell phone to make sure that it is in off or silent mode so as not to disturb our worship this evening. It is now my pleasure and my great honor to invite the confirmation class of 5783 into the sanctuary. Please rise.
Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor, lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor, velo ata ben sporim leibatel mimena, velo ata ben chorin, velo ata ben chorin leibatel mimena, velo ata ben chorin.
Please be seated.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. La 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 la. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Good evening and welcome to the confirmation service of 5783. Today our class is here to lead a Havdalah service that we've been preparing for the whole year. It has been a long journey, but it has been a meaningful one. We are celebrating the holiday of Shavuot tonight, which recognizes Moses receiving the 10 Commandments from Mount Sinai. This year we have studied all of the 10 Commandments in great detail in preparation for us to read them from the Torah tonight, and we hope that you can enjoy all of our hard work.
We read responsibly. Our light is Torah, mitzvot are our lamps.
Pleasing are the ways of Torah, and all her paths are peace.
Dark and twisting is the road to peace. Happy the generations whose light will guide them to its end.
The students of Torah bring peace to the world, as it is said.
When all your children are taught of Adonai, great shall be the peace of your children.
As Jews, we read Torah every Shabbat. We go back and revisit the same stories year after year. Doesn't that become repetitive? Don't we already know these lessons and stories? I believe that each year we have a new set of eyes that have lived another layer of life, and we perceive these same stories and lessons in different ways. It is important that as Jews, we appreciate our perspectives every year and continue to read Torah. Tonight, we will read from the 10 Commandments, and hopefully we will hear them with new ears and see them with new eyes, finding fresh insights to these timeless values. Please rise in body or spirit for the Torah service.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udvar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael, bikedushato, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Lecha Adonai Hagedula ve'agvura v'atiferet ve'hanetzach ve'ahod ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'amid na'aseh lechol lerosh al shlosha devarim al shlosha devarim al shlosha devarim ha'olam omed al shlosha devarim al shlosha devarim al shlosha devarim ha'olam omed al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim.
Please be seated. The 10 Commandments are guidelines given to us by God when Moses climbed Mount Sinai in order to bring them to the Israelites. These commandments are not only practiced in Judaism, but also in other religions such as Christianity. They tell us how we're supposed to live and what type of living is considered good. Each year on Shavuot, we stand when we read the commandments, an act that brings us back to the moment that the Israelites stood at Mount Sinai to receive the law. In doing so, we bring that Mount Sinai moment to life and remember that in every age we continue to receive the law and accept it for ourselves. Please rise, if you are able, for the reading of the 10 Commandments.
Amen.
Vadaber Elohim, kol hadvarim ha'ele lemor. Anohi Adonai Elohecha, asher hotzeticha, me'eretz Mitzrayim, me'be avodim. The eternal God spoke all these words, saying, I, the eternal, am your God, who led you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Lo yehi elecha Elohim acherim al panai. Lo ta'as elecha fesel v'chol timuna asher bashamayim mima'al va'asher ba'aretz mitachat va'asher ba'mayim mitachat la'aretz. Lo tishtachaveh lachem, velo ta'odem, ki anochi Adonai Elohecha Elkana poked avon avot al banim al shileshim v'al ribeim lisonei ve'oseh chesed la'alafim le'ohavai u'shomorei mitzvotai. You shall have no other gods beside me. You shall not carve for yourself an image, the likeness of anything in the heavens above, or on the earth below, or in the waters under the earth. You shall not worship them or serve them, for I, the eternal your God, am a demanding God, inflicting the sins of the children upon the third and fourth generations of those who hate me. I show steadfast love to thousands of generations for those who love me and keep my commandments.
Lo tisa et shem Adonai Elohecha lashav ki lo yenakeh Adonai asher yisa et shmo lashav. You shall not invoke the name of eternal your God with malice, for Adonai does not hold guiltless one who invokes God's name with malice.
Zachor et Yom HaShabbat Likadesho Sheshet Yamim Ta'avod Ve'asita Chol Melachtecha Ve'yom HaShavi Shabbat L'Adonai Elohecha Lo Ta'aseh Chol Melacha Ata uvincha uvitecha, avdecha va'amatecha, uvhemtecha, v'geirecha asher bisharecha. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of Adonai your God. You shall do no work, you, your son, your daughter, or your servants, your domestic animals, or the stranger in your community. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them. Then God rested on the seventh day. Therefore Adonai blessed the Sabbath day and called it holy.
Kabed et avia ve'imeha lema'an varihun yameha al hadama asher Adonai Elohecha notain la. Honor your father and mother so that you may long endure the land that Adonai your God gives you.
Lo tirtzach, lo tinaf, lo tignov, lo ta'asok bereyacha et shaker.
You
shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor.
Lo tahmod beit reyeha, lo tahmod eshet reyeha, ve'avdo ve'amato, ve'shoro ve'hamoro, ve'hol asher l'reyeha. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his servants, nor his cattle, nor anything that is your neighbor's.
Amen.
Please be seated. We take a moment in our service to say a prayer for those who are ill and in need of healing. We remember all those who are ill, and we pray that they will know a very complete and speedy recovery.
Today we call to mind all who are in need of healing and wholeness, be it of their body, mind, or spirit. If there are any names of people for whom we should pray, we invite you to say their names aloud now.
May the one who makes healing possible bring a full and speedy recovery to those who are ill. May their doctors and nurses be guided in good health, strength, and wisdom, and may those who care for them find the strength to support them in their time of need.
We join together in song and prayer, hoping that all who are in need of healing will find a full and speedy recovery.
Avotenu, Mekor habracha, limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishebeirachimotenu, Mekor habracha, lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Please rise as we return the Torah to the ark.
Odo al eretz v'shamayim, vayarem keren le'amo, tehila lechol chasidav, livnei Yisrael am kirovo. Meushar Terachea Darchei Noam V'chol Netivotea Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha V'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
Please be seated. The story of Ruth from Moab is one of the most beautiful in all our literature. It describes the friendship, the love, and the devotion of two women, Ruth and Naomi.
It praises loyalty to one's family and to one's people. This loyalty plants in human beings the seeds of confidence and faith in each other.
And out of the seed of loyalty in human beings to each other grows the sturdy loyalty of humankind to God.
The book of Ruth is read in the synagogue during the festival of Shavuot, which celebrates the ingathering of the first fruits of the harvest.
It recalls the ancient days of our people on the soil of Israel. In the end, it tells how David, the ideal king of Israel, was descended from Ruth, the Moabite woman who chose to convert to the faith of the Israelites.
Vehi b'yemei shafot hashavatim Rav be'eretz ve'elech ish mibet lechem Yehuda lagor b'sdei Moav hu ve'ishto u'shnei banav ve'Hashem chayish Elimelech ve'Hashem ishto Naomi ve'Hashem shnei banav Machlon ve'Ichilion Ephratim mibet lechem Yehuda v'Avado Isdei Moav v'Hu Sham.
Vayamod Elimelech ish Naomi Vatishaher hi Ushen vaneha.
Vayisu lachem nashim moaviyot shem hachat orpa v'shem hashenit ru vayishuvu sham keser shanim.
Vayamutu gam shenehem machlon v'chilion. Vatishaer ha'isha mishnei eladecha umeisha.
Vatakom hi vekolateha vatashov misdei Moav ki sham'a bisdei Moav ki fakad Adonai et amo latet lahem lahem.
it came to pass in the days when the judges judged that there was famine in the land. A certain man of Bethlehem in Judah took his wife and 2 sons to live in the land of Moab. His name was Elimelech, and that of his wife Naomi. And his 2 sons were Machlon and Hilion.
After they had lived in Moab for some time, Elimelech died, and Naomi was left without her 2 sons. They married Moabite women named Orpah and Ruth. About 10 years later, Machlon and Hilion both died, and Naomi was left without a husband or children.
Mourning her 2 children as well as her husband, Naomi set out with her daughters-in-law from the land of Moab to return to Judah, for she had learned that God remembered her people and had given them food.
Naomi said to her daughters-in-law, "Go, return each of you to the home of your mother. May the eternal God be kind to you as you have been kind to the dead and to me. May God grant that each of you may find peace and happiness in the house of a new husband." She kissed them goodbye, but they began to weep aloud and said to her, "No, we will go back to you with your people."
Then Naomi said, "Go back, my daughters. Why should you go with me? Can I still have sons who might become your husbands? Go back, my daughters. Go your own way, for I am too old to help you have a husband. No, my daughters, I am sorry for you, for God has afflicted me."
They again began to weep, and Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye. But Ruth clung to her. Naomi said, "See, your sister-in-law is going back to her own people and to her own gods. Go along with her." But Ruth answered,
Entreat me not to leave you, and to return from following after you. For where you go, I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. The eternal God do so to me, if anything but death parts you and me.
So Ruth and Naomi returned to Judah. There Naomi's kinsman, Boaz, married Ruth. In time, God gave them a son. The women of the town said to Naomi, "Blessed be God, who has not left you at this time without a near relative, and may his name be famous in Israel."
Naomi took the child in her arms, and she became its nurse. The woman in the neighborhood said, "Naomi has a grandson." They named him Obed. He became the father of Jesse, who was the father of David. Because the great King David was descended from Ruth and Boaz, the story of his ancestry is read at this festival time.
Each of us has a name given by the source of life and given by our parents. Each of us has a name given by our stature and our smile and given by what we wear.
Each of us has a name given by the mountains and given by our walls. Each of us has a name given by the stars and given by our neighbors.
Each of us has a name given by our sins and given by our longings. Each of us has a name given by our enemies and given by our love.
Each of us has a name given by our celebrations and given by our work. Each of us has a name given by the seasons and given by our blindness. Each of us has a name given by the sea and given by death.
Tonight we remember those who we loved who are not physically here with us, but are certainly here in memory and in love. We invite you to rise to honor the memory of your loved ones as their names are read.
Tonight we take a moment to remember those who are not here to celebrate with us, though they are certainly here in memory and in love. As we read the names, we invite you to stand for your loved ones and remain standing for the words of the mourner's Kaddish.
Robert Brunisholz, Phyllis Foyer, Mimi and Marie Abramowitz, Eugene Paris, Benny Charthauer, Lorraine Charthauer, Abe Rizoff, Rose Rizoff, Alex Peck, Malka Peck, Molly Zorkauer, Irving Feeder, Bill Benjamin, Jerry Rosemarin, Paul Benowitz, Dorothy Benowitz, Lillian and Sam Pravda, Esther and Albert Schiffman, Dora and Julius Petoskey, Sylvia and Bernie Lapps, Fran Schneiderman, Susan Shaw, Fred Shaw, and William Polino. And we remember 6 victims from the Holocaust: Meyer Pysakovics, David Hirsch Pysakovics, Rose Pysakovics, Seema Pysakovics, Joseph Kwiatek, and Hannah Brady.
Please rise for the mourner's Kaddish.
Al Yitadash Shemei Rabbah Ve'alma Divrach Hirute V'yamlich Malchute V'chayechon V'yomechon Uv'chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala Uvizaman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehe Shemei Rabbah Mevarach Le'alam U'lalamei Alamaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekusha, b'richu. Le'elamin kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehe shalama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, amen.
Please be seated. Tikkun Olam is a concept in Judaism that translates to repair the world. The Jewish people believe it's part of our responsibility to make the world a happier, more peaceful, more tolerant, and safer place by performing healing acts of kindness and charity and taking political action. All humans are responsible for improving the world and making it a better place, but not all do. It's our job to stand up for what we believe in and to work for social justice. Improving the world we live in is a great priority for the Jewish people. It isn't a trend or modern idea or limited to a specific generation, but instead it is a religious duty that finds its roots in our ancient ancestors, and it is a responsibility that we all need to work towards.
Discrimination is defined as the unjust treatment of certain groups of people. So nobody's surprised discrimination on its own is inherently bad. And in my opinion, it's nothing short of detrimental when it directly impacts one's self-identity and or freedom of love. LGBTQ+ rights are human rights, and human rights should never be something that is put down, judged, or discriminated against. The Torah tells us directly, the true opposite of love is not hate but indifference. A lack of concern and sympathy as defined by indifference is an important issue to bring up in a society today. Those who choose not to stand up for those who are silenced are acting with indifference, not hate. A statement from Jewish groups protesting against a bill proposed to forbid same-sex marriage states, as organizations grounded in Jewish values and beliefs, we have an ethical and moral responsibility to fight for society that ensures the humanity of all people, end quote. Bridging the gap between love and a loss of support for specific communities is an issue that can be to fight for society that ensures the humanity of all people. Bridging the gap between love and a loss of support for specific communities is an issue that can be mitigated within the Jewish community. For starters, the equality and diverse training that staff might receive can ensure that members of our community always have a safe space. More so, however, acceptance starts with us. There are bigger things to worry about in life than how someone chooses to identify themselves and who someone finds happiness in. As members of a synagogue, greeting and getting to know others with an open mind is a great place to start. With everything going on in the world, it is disconcerting to see that LGBTQ+ rights are being affected. Let's work together to make sure that everyone feels at home, welcomed, and accepted when they walk through our synagogue doors. Thank you.
As Jews, it's important for us to leave the world better than we found it. Our goal is always to make the world a better place. The earth is a very delicate ecosystem, and it is important to take care of it. Things people do on a daily basis that hurt the earth, and when the earth is harmed, so is all of its life. We need to make sure that we keep our home safe. Saving the environment is such an important issue to me because Earth is our only home. Not only is Earth our only home, but it is also the animals' only home, and they did nothing to deserve a planet that cannot sustain them. Our world is so amazing and has so much to offer, and it's not right for people to destroy it. Pollution occurs every day whether we realize it or not. When we drive cars, when we don't recycle, and when we chop down trees. All these actions impact the environment. As Jews, it is our duty to be a part of the solution. By recycling, watching our day-to-day habits and modifying them for the better, and spreading awareness. These are just a few things we can do to help fix the environment. Judaism has brought to my attention how important it is to stand up for these issues we believe, and it showed me that if we all work together, we can take action to achieve whatever we want.
The Hebrew phrase Sa'ar Ba'alei Chayim means the suffering of living creatures. This idea of preventing animals from feeling pain is something that is very important to me. Growing up at the temple, my teachers, friends, and the Torah have always taught me love and compassion for everyone. And for me personally, that doesn't stop with only humans. When I was 13, I decided to follow in my older brother's footsteps and become pescatarian, which means I cut out all animal products but eggs, fish, and dairy. It made me feel good that I was making a positive difference for the environment and reducing animal cruelty. Judaism has taught me to appreciate little things like nature and living things that we share this world with. Making a difference doesn't mean that you fully have to become vegan, because even changing little things, such as cutting out one type of meat or buying makeup products from a cruelty-free brand, makes a larger impact than we know. The idea that all animals are a part of God's creation inspires us to have compassion for other creatures, and Judaism has taught me to appreciate that.
Gender equality is a universal value that transcends cultural and religious boundaries, and Judaism is no exception. Within Jewish teachings, there's a strong emphasis on the equal worth and dignity of every individual, regardless of gender. The concept of Tselem Elohim, the belief that all humans are created in the image of God, serves as a powerful reminder that men and women are created equally deserving of respect, opportunities, and rights. Jewish traditions also acknowledge the important contributions of women throughout the history, from the prophets who played pivotal roles in guiding the community to shape the destiny of Jewish people. By recognizing the inherent equality of all individuals and promoting inclusive practices, Judaism provides a solid foundation for the pursuit of gender equality and the empowerment of women in both religious and secular spheres.
As a Jewish teen growing up in an extremely affluent environment, it is hard to realize the struggles that others face regarding poverty and their living situations. Yet my experiences in Yoshi, the Temple Youth Group, have allowed me to develop new perspectives and alternate viewpoints on situations I would have never considered. Every year, Yoshi hosts an event called Midnight Run, where we gather large donations of food, clothes, and basic necessities for people struggling in New York. The people we aim to help suffer from poverty and homelessness, and it is our main goal to give them some of the essentials they need for winter in order to make their lives a little easier. This event has opened my eyes and really allowed me to see just how different my life as a 16-year-old can be from others. For instance, in previous years, I have met and given clothes and food to girls close my age who did not have a similar life to mine. They struggled with poverty and could not afford many of the luxuries I have. Instead, they were struggling for basic necessities. The problem of poverty is so important to me because every year, millions of people struggle from financial insecurity and struggle to afford food, clothes, and so many more essential items. Our temple has done so many things to help those in need, and while we may never solve this detrimental problem, we should continue to try and do anything that we can do to help ease the burden for some of the people that struggle.
Helping the homeless is a mitzvah in Judaism, a religious responsibility. When you are homeless, people don't want to help you, and people take you for granted and say you're lying. Temple Shor Yemet does a lot with the homeless community. We are called to help others in need, no matter their religion, beliefs, or race, which is why, in partnership with the Emergency Housing and Advocacy Program, based in Freehold, the Temple also opens its doors to house the homeless from December through March. Every Saturday, 12 men have a warm place to sleep and eat at the temple, and on the other days, they sleep at other local houses of worship. With the assistance of EHAP, many of the men in the program receive help finding jobs and permanent housing. The small things the temple does to help alleviate homelessness makes a difference in so many people's lives. Our tradition teaches us that we have known homelessness, and knowing that pain should make us empathetic to those who are in need. During the Holocaust, when the Jews were getting kicked out of their homes, they had nowhere to go. It touched many Jews, and it was unfair for it to happen simply because they were Jewish. Knowing this pain should compel us to assist others. Overall, we as Jewish people care about this issue. We do our best to provide support for unhoused people and fight to end homelessness.
Anti-Semitism has had a long history in society and has been around for centuries. Anti-Semitism is hate aimed towards Jewish people, which has increased significantly over the past few years. Events in history, such as the Holocaust and the various synagogue shootings that have taken place recently, are examples of extreme anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitic attacks don't have to nearly be this extreme, though. A few months ago, I noticed a swastika on my desk in chemistry. I doubt the fellow drawing was aimed towards me, but it is still disgusting to know that someone would draw something like that. My school has a fairly large Jewish population, which makes it even more offensive. Overall, anti-Semitism is a widespread problem that has plagued Jewish people for a long time in many ways. It is the duty of us Jews to educate people about anti-Semitism to help put a stop to the endless train of hate.
Much like anti-Semitism, racism has been around for centuries, and it's a major problem that needs to be stopped. As Jews, we have a responsibility to stand up against discrimination and make the world a more fair place. The Torah tells us to love your neighbor as yourself, which reminds us to treat everyone with kindness, no matter where they come from. The Talmud also teaches us that every person is made in the image of God, which means that every single person is valuable and deserves respect. Racism is wrong because it dehumanizes people and spreads untrue beliefs, which can lead to some terrible things. As Jews, we need to work hard to fight against racism and help people understand and accept each other. If we all do our part, we can make the world a much better place where everyone is treated with love and respect.
As young Jews, we care deeply about our world and humanity. There are many problems we face today. Intolerance, racism, anti-Semitism, poverty, homelessness, and environmental challenges are just some of the issues we want to work towards ending. During the Torah service, we use the phrase Lador Vador, which means from generation to generation. We all have the responsibility to leave the world a place where future generations can live and thrive. When we stand up and make a difference, we are doing what we can to make the future a better place for the generations to come. We hope you will join us in this holy work of Tikkun Olam.
Fixing the world, Tikkun Olam, making the way for generations to come. Fixing the world, Tikkun Olam, Avodah Shelanu Lechulam. Once the world was perfect, a vessel was complete. Now it lies in ruin, shattered at our feet. The light it held was scattered all throughout the land. Our world cannot be perfect until we all lend a hand. Fixing the world, Tikkun Olam, making the way for generations to come. Fixing the world, Tikkun Olam, Avodah Shelanu Lechulam. The earth is very not save this gift God gave unless I do my share. We have to work together, we all must do our part. Let's find each spark of God's pure light, start searching in your heart. Fixing the world, tikkun olam, making the way for generations to come. Fixing the world, tikkun olam, avodah shelanu lechulam. God said unto Noah, this is planet Earth. I have had enough of floods, it's time for life's rebirth. This world will be the last one, God won't make any more. This task is mine, tikkun olam, tamid ledor vador. Fixing the world, tikkun olam, making the way for generations to come. Fixing the world, tikkun olam, avodah shelanu lechulam, avodah shelanu lechulam, avodah shelanu lechulam.
Havdalah is a ritual that helps us mark the ending of Shabbat and the beginning of a new week. We use wine, spices, and a multi-wicked candle to make that ending sweeter.
Tonight we mark the end of our confirmation year, recognizing that we have reached the next milestone in our formal Jewish education. We celebrate today and we continue on our path as Jews, knowing that we always keep learning.
We will be able to continue our studies here at Temple Shari Emeth in the 11th and 12th grade program. We will be able to take Jewish studies in college and visit Israel and Birthright. Synagogues and Jewish communities will always offer us opportunities to study Torah and expand our Jewish knowledge.
Today we mark the accomplishment of confirmation, as the next door to Jewish learning opens for us. It is a sweet moment filled with pride and joy, as well as the anticipation for what lies ahead.
And so we join together in Havdalah, bringing sweetness to this very special moment. Please join with us in singing.
La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen, borei peri hagafen. La 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 la. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei minei v'samim, borei minei v'samim. La 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 la, ya la 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei me'orei ha'esh, borei me'orei ha'esh. La 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 la. La 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 la, ya la 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Am havdil bein kodesh lecho, bein or lechoshech, bein Yisrael la'amim, bein yom hashvi'i, l'sheshet yemei ha'maaseh. Baruch atah Adonai, hamavdil bein kodesh lecho. La 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 la. La 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 ya la 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 ya la 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 la.
I'll just get ready. One of my favorite quotes is a popular one from Margaret Mead, who said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed individuals can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." As I was preparing to write my remarks about this year's confirmation class, this quote immediately popped into my head because it so aptly describes this special group of thoughtful, committed individuals. Listening to their class Devar Torah about the intersection of social justice and Judaism, and how all of us can play a part in helping to do acts of tikkun olam to repair the world, was so inspiring and confirmed for me that they will be the ones to change the world. It is pretty amazing to look at the compassionate and thoughtful young adults sitting on the bima today and consider that many of them grew up right here at the temple. A large group of them started here in our ELC, our Early Learning Center, and have known each other since they were about 3 years old. And Bianca has all of the pictures and videos to prove it, so just ask her later. Those early bonds didn't stop them from happily welcoming new members into their group throughout their time in religious school and helping others become as comfortable at the temple as they were. They have never been afraid to put themselves out there and be trailblazers, and this was especially evident during the early days of the pandemic when the world turned upside down. Many in this group were about to become B'nai Mitzvah in the spring of 2020, and they helped us broaden our horizons to imagine new possibilities and inject joy into a very dark time with their Zoom mitzvahs, showing us the enduring power of Judaism in their lives and how resilient they could be. It is a true Shehechianu moment that we get to be on the bima together tonight, especially since some of you weren't even able to become bar bat mitzvah here at Temple Sher Yemeth, and this was your first time reading from the Torah at this podium. This class's sense of commitment has become even more apparent over the last 2 years as they've gotten more involved with the temple and in Jewish life. Over half of our confirmands are dedicated and passionate madrachim, or teen leaders, assisting in the religious school where they inspire and connect with younger students every week and are the best role models our teachers could ask for. Our students plan and attend events as members of Yoshi, our youth group, and help the homeless and feed the hungry, causes they are deeply passionate about, as you heard them discuss in their experiences with Midnight Run and the Temple's Homeless Shelter program. About a third of our confirmands have attended Jewish summer camps and will be visiting Israel this summer. All of our students have causes and activities they are deeply committed to, and it has been a privilege to watch them consider how Jewish values intersect with these passions and witness the development of their Jewish identities this year. Nowhere was their thoughtfulness more evident than during our confirmation class trip to Washington, D.C. this December to attend the Litzah Social Justice Seminar with the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism, also known as the RAC. Throughout the weekend, the students learned about Reform Judaism's stance on a range of social issues, decided which issues they were most passionate about, and worked hard to write speeches to lobby our senators and congressional representatives. On Monday on Capitol Hill, they fearlessly advocated for their beliefs, eloquently and persuasively speaking about the need for mental health services in schools, anti-Semitism, and gun violence prevention, among other issues, and sharing moving personal experiences along the way. I was so proud of how they conquered their fears and spoke truth to power during our lobbying sessions, and I was equally gratified by how engaged and inquisitive they were throughout the weekend, how enthusiastically they participated in the programs and services, and how they looked out for each other and actively made new friends with Jewish teens from across the country. I know they had some trepidation going into the weekend, but they pushed themselves out of their comfort zones and formed close bonds with each other and with our friends from Hillsborough. It was such a joy to see their sometimes wacky and hilarious personalities come out, witness them become so comfortable being themselves, and watch them connect with each other like never before. So, my small group of thoughtful, committed individuals, as we come to the end of your confirmation year, I am here to tell you that all of you can change the world. Indeed, you've shown us so many examples of how you already have done that just this year. As Jews, we are commanded to pursue righteousness and justice, and you are the people that need to create positive change and continue to fight to improve our world. I know you can do it because I've witnessed firsthand the amazing power you have when you put your minds to something. You continually inspire me with your humor, positivity, originality, inclusivity, creativity, loyalty, and passion. I want you to continue to use your powers for good and change the world with your unique style and ability. I am blessed to have been able to get to know each of you better this year, and you have strengthened my commitment to continue fighting for justice because I know I will have partners in making the world a better place. As you come to the end of your formal Jewish education, I want to thank you for a fabulous year of studying together, laughing together, and letting me be a part of your Jewish journey. Please come back and learn with me next year in post-confirmation, because I just don't know what my Tuesday nights would be without all of you. On behalf of the Sisterhood Men's Club and the Temple, I am pleased to present you tonight with some gifts that are waiting for you in the back, so don't forget to take them home with you. There is a mezuzah, a menorah, and a tzedakah box for you to continue celebrating Jewishly at home. I also want to thank this class for making a meaningful donation to the Temple that we are all very excited about, and I'll let them tell you about that in a little bit. Mazel tov to the confirmation class of 2023 and to your wonderful families on reaching this milestone in your Jewish education. I cannot wait to see what all of you accomplish next. Tonight, we are excited to also present the Dr. Milton R. Gross Memorial Confirmation Class Award. Milton and Evelyn Gross were longtime Temple members and were involved with the formation of the religious school. Dr. Gross's family established this award to honor his love of Jewish education and support the future of Jewish youth in our congregation. And I'm honored to introduce Shari Byrne, representing the Gross family tonight, to present this year's award.
Hi, my name is Shari Byrne, and first I want to just congratulate all of you on everything that you did this evening. It was very, very nice, and their families as well. So, as Melissa said, this is an annual award that recognizes one confirmation student in memory of my father, Dr. Milton Gross. We chose to honor my father in this way because it really did tie into the long-term Jewish education and learning. Honoring one student who chose to write an essay of the rabbi's, she picked the topic, and my family picked who to award it to. But it was very important, as the rabbi mentioned at the beginning, that this went to a student who really went through all of the Jewish education that a student can and brought you to this evening. So each year we do grant an Israel bond to a chosen student, and their name is added to this plaque that we created that does hang in the religious school hallway. And the award this evening is already on here, so you'll see it. I just want to mention that my family and I have been very long-time members of the temple, actually since the groundbreaking for this building. We were all confirmed here, my sister and I, Tracy, who's here, as well as my nephew, who's here, and my two daughters. And we're all on that confirmation wall of pictures that you'll soon be added to. I'll even admit that I'm on that tippy-top row at the top. But I'm not going to tell you which picture. I am not in black and white, though. I will tell you that. My dad was a lifelong member of Hadassah, as we all are. He liked to play tennis and did the Sunday New York Times crossword puzzle in ink very confidently, loved to travel, spend time with his family, and took pictures as his hobby, photography. And it was just very important to us that, having been here so long at the temple, that we create this award, and we've been honoring a student of the confirmation class ever since. So I am here, as I said, with my sister Tracy, my nephew, and together we are so proud to present Carly Potosky. Is that how I say it? Potosky, I apologize. We did not rehearse that part. With this award for this year, and her name is on the plaque already. So thank you to Rabbi Pankin, to Cantor Wally, Rabbi Falco, as well as Melissa, and really all of the teachers for many, many years that got you all to this evening. Thank you to the students, the other students as well, who took the time to write an essay, as it was voluntary to do so. Carly, thank you, and congratulations. I hope the 10 Commandment lessons and discussions the students and the rabbi had this year carry them into the future, and their Jewish educations continue to thrive. I don't know which one is Carly. I apologize. So here, and you can enjoy that and get that back hung up. Thank you very much.
Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimhera ve'yameinu, Yavo Eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi.
It is so wonderful to have all our friends and family gathered with us to celebrate this special moment, which is an important accomplishment for us as young Jews. This year, we have gathered each Tuesday to eat pizza with our friends and then met with Rabbi Pankin to study the 10 Commandments in order to understand why they remain important today. We learned about Shavuot and the Book of Ruth. We took a trip to Washington, D.C. and created this service, which we led tonight. We want to thank our teachers, Melissa Pescatori and Cantor Wally and Rabbi Pankin, for helping us reach this milestone.
Our class is proud to present a special gift to the temple. The temple is replacing the Torah covers this year because they've started to fray. We are so proud to be a part of this project by donating the wimple, the belt for the Torah that will go on the Holocaust Torah that only the confirmation class reads from. We are also happy to know that our names will now forever be a part of the confirmation book that contains the name of every confirmand since the first confirmation in 1971. It is our pleasure now to be included in these pages. We hope that next year's class will have a good as year that we have had.
And I just want to say how exciting it is that in this is the confirmation book. It has the names of every confirmand from the synagogue since Susan came in 1971. Does anyone know Susan? I'm still trying to meet her. She was our only confirmand that year. But what's so nice about this is that in this book, some of you in this room, your names as parents were in this book, and now we add your children's names, and that is a very exciting moment of Lador Vador from generation to generation, something that we hold very dearly in our hearts and take very seriously in this congregation. Tonight, my students, you spoke about Tikkun Olam and the need for greater justice in the world. Clearly, changing the world is important to you since you chose this as your theme. So let me share some wisdom that I heard from Naval Admiral William McCraven. He spoke at the commencement to 8,000 graduates in the class of 2014 at University of Texas, and he said, "If every one of you changed the lives of just 10 people, and each one of those folks changed the lives of another 10 people, just 10, then in 6 generations, 175 years, the class of 2014 will have changed the lives of over 21 million people, which is far more than the population of Jews living around the world today. And if you keep going, within 9 generations, 225 years from now," he said, "the generations that follow will have changed the lives of 21 billion people, 3 times the current population of the world at that moment." He finished by saying, "If you think it's hard to change the lives of 10 people, change their lives forever, you're wrong. Each of you has the power to change the life of another person at any moment. You just have to look for it. You did it this year at the RAC when you lobbied for social issues that mattered to you. If you helped affect legislative change that will protect someone, then you will have changed the life of another. When you bring food for Open Door, or you make dinner or cookies for the homeless program at our temple, when you hand out food and clothing at Midnight Run with Yoshi, then you are changing the lives of those around you. If you live by the 10 commandments and honor your parents, if you are loyal to your spouse, if you hold life as sacred and respect the property of others, if you speak kindly of God and humans and model careful use of your words, if you take time to rest and let others rest, if you show others around you how to be happy with the gifts that they have, then you might just change the lives of those around you. The opportunities are there to do tikkun ha'olam everywhere, all the time, to change the world and the people that you come in contact with. If you concentrate during your lifetime on changing the lives of just 10 other people for the better, and you teach your children and grandchildren to do the same, we could radically change this world within a century or 2. The idea of tikkun olam comes from the mystics who taught that when God began creating the world, God poured divine light into vessels which shattered when they became too full, and sparks from that light embedded themselves everywhere in the world, and they are even in all of you, and in me. I hope that you will continue to study Judaism next year in the 11th and 12th grade program with Mrs. Pescatori, because I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday nights, and I would miss you if you weren't here. I hope that you continue to participate in all aspects of synagogue life, in our youth group, or as madrichim, as many of you are, And when you go to college, I hope you will join Hillel and go on Birthright and take Jewish studies classes. Keep learning and feeding your Jewish souls, because we are never done learning or growing as Jewish people. But most importantly, wherever you go and whatever you do, I want you to remember that there is a divine spark, that beautiful light inside of you. You have a light, a warmth, and energy that is divine. So use it for divine purposes. Do tikkun ha'olam, and teach the generations to follow how to be a Jew and how making a difference matters to the Jewish people. And in doing so, we will all come that much closer to making God's world whole once again. I want you to know that I love and respect all of you. You are each so special, so talented in your own way, and you have so much to share with others. Your intelligence, your humor, your warmth and compassion, your creativity, your silliness, your seriousness, your ability to support one another, your energy, and your sense of justice. And it has been such an honor and privilege to have been a part of your lives and to get to know you and to watch you grow up and to have been with many of you at your namings, your ELC graduations, your B'nai Mitzvah, and now for your confirmation. You are a group that gives so much to the temple already, as volunteers, as leaders, some of you even as regulars at Shabbat. You are truly a part of what makes this group a community of people who care and support one another as you do. And I hope that we can celebrate many more happy times in the years to come. Tonight, my students, you stand at Sinai once more. You take the Torah that our ancestors accepted and passed to us today. And I hope that you will remember that it is your guidebook on how to live a Jewish life, how to live a life that makes a difference, how to live a life that changes the world. 10 people, a minyan, that's all it takes. And I have faith in you. So I hope you have faith in yourselves. And who knows, you might start with 10 and then think, yeah, I already did 10, so I'm going to do 12 or 15. When you start changing the world, the possibilities are endless. I look forward to seeing what you will do as you continue to grow and gain confidence. May the spark of holiness shine in you and through you, and may the world be made warmer, brighter, and whole once again, because each of you are in it. Mazel tov to the class of 5783. Mazel tov to you, and mazel tov to your parents and family. And I'd like to ask all the parents of our confirmands to rise and to join in blessing you. And I'm going to ask all of you to rise as well. Page 27 in the book is the blessing. It's also on the screen. The days come and go. Imperceptibly, our lives change. We grow older and are hardly aware of it. Our children grow up and we hardly notice. Then we come to this time and we realize that our children are children no longer. They have become young people, ready to take their first steps into adulthood. We are grateful that we have been able to bring them this far. We are thankful for the strength to cope with the stresses and responsibilities of rearing them. And we give thanks for the pleasure and pride we have had in them. Now we realize they are children no longer. Only another 2 years, and they will begin to go from our home to find their own way in the world. We ask ourselves, have we truly prepared them for this? Have we done enough, taught them enough? We are almost afraid to let them go. Yet it was for this that we raised them, that they might grow up to take their places in the world. May they go from strength to strength in all that they do, and may they, as God's partners, find their sacred purpose in this world. And let us say, Amen. Parents, please be seated, and confirmands, please join the cantor and I in front of the ark. Actually, please rise. Confirmands, you have stood at Sinai, accepted the 10 Commandments, and taught us tonight as our teachers of Torah. And so I ask you in front of this congregation to affirm your love of Judaism, your connection to the Jewish people, to God and Torah, by loudly chanting the Shema, the watchword of our faith.
Shema Yisrael. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's countenance shine on you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God be with you, guiding and protect you all the days of your life, and may all of you grow very, very, very old together with those you love in a world filled only with peace. And let us all say,
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Mazel tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov. Yehlanu, 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 ulecho Yisrael. Yehlanu, yehlanu, ulecho Yisrael. Yehlanu, yehlanu, ulecho Yisrael. Yehlanu, yehlanu, ulecho Yisrael.
as we move into the social hall for a delicious dinner, Cantor, would you lead us in Motzi?
Sure. Good thing I have that slide. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
Bon appetit. Please join us for a lovely dinner.